What's up, everybody? Welcome back to My Twisted Life in TV. I am Poetry. You are here for another recap and review of The Handmaid's Tale. This is Season 4, Episode 2, Nightshade. Y'all, this episode got my panties in a kerfluffle. I don't even know if that's the right word to use, the right way to use the word kerfluffle, but I feel like I'm in a kerfluffle. It upset me that I had to stop watching last night and then start over again today, because I was trying to get this video to y'all yesterday, but it didn't happen. This episode, oh my gosh. Anywho, out at the farm, a car pulls up. June is peeking through the little window. You see the head beam shine through the light, illuminating her face as they always seem to do. All the handmaids are panicking because they think they've been found out. They're coming for them. June says, no, not with one car. Y'all arrived in one vehicle, June. Do you remember that? So it is possible, unless it is an actual car, like a sedan or a coupe, you know what I'm saying? Hold on. I just realized something the other day, that my camera must be close to my desk because it keeps shaking. Why does it keep shaking that? They need to stop shaking. Okay, so hopefully that's better. Okay, so June, she decides to go approach the car with Janine, or at least head that direction. And I was like, why is the Marthas of the house not going out there? Or the guardian that's supposed to be on watch? Why is the lady of the house not going out there? Or Commander Keys, for that matter? Or do we believe that this commander all of a sudden now has a new flock of Marthas that work on his farm? Is that what these guardians that's pulling up is supposed to believe? Because remember, they always venture through that property just to get a little bit of baby's breath, right? So baby's breath, she did go out to meet them. And it appears they are looking for Pogue. But just in case, June wants Janine to stay calm and look for Alma, okay? Especially while she go off and do whatever. I don't know what it was she went to go do. They never showed us. Well, Pogue apparently goes missing a few times a month. You know, he be out there drinking and thinking and stuff like that. They write him up often. Why is he still a guardian? I don't know. But they keep finding him passed out in somebody's stable. Okay, he always end up in somebody's stable. What is he out there doing? He out there hooking up with the farm animals? What is going on with Pogue? That's got me wondering now, right? Well, they go in there and they want to talk to the Marthas. But baby's breath say, they working, Commander Keys all sick and ailing and stuff like that. She give him some drink, They like to see, yeah, he good. He just don't, this is just something to help ease his pain or what have you. But they said that they're going to come back and talk to the Marthas later, right? So for me, what that's telling me is basically they suspect that something went on with Pogue. They suspect that he came there because, like I said, there probably is a usual stopover for him. So with that information, they realize it's time for June and them to move out. It's not safe there. I don't know why y'all still there anyway. Okay, y'all should have been gone, in my opinion. June wants to go to Mayday. Alma is like, I don't want to be sheltered in Gilead any longer. Because apparently where they're going to try to shelter them, where Mayday is going to try to shelter them, is still in Gilead. Just a little further out. She's like, Texas is a sovereign state. So I want to get to Texas. Alma has heard that the escapees, or they're letting escapees in, right? But June doesn't think that it's, they should travel that far based on a rumor. And I'm like, June, Mayday was a rumor. But now you out here looking for them, right? The Martha Network was a rumor. But they got y'all this far. And although she's saying Mayday got them there, that's not who got y'all there. It was the Martha Network who got y'all there. But anywho, Brianna, she's terrified. She's like, I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. Well, honey, nobody wants to fight, but sometimes you have to fight for your own survival. And June tells her just as much. Anywho, the guardian whose name we never knew. If y'all know his name, drop it in the comment section. I even tried to Google it to see what that man's name was. They never said what his name was. Usually Hulu would give me like a name or something like that. With the subtitles, they didn't even do that this time. So I don't know his name. He was nicely attractive though. Anywho, he says that Mayday will only talk to June. Or this contact that they have that's going to get them to Mayday will only talk to June. And I was thinking, why not Alma? Because Alma has been connected to Mayday since the very beginning, remember? Alma was the one who was always connected to Mayday. So why is Alma not the one that's going to be able to communicate and talk to them? Alma is the one that got the Martha Network hookup. Why is Alma not going to be? I just don't understand how June has rose to this position of power without having done anything other than run. Try to escape for her own freedom. And she happened to luck up this time and was able to get some children out as well with the help of the Marthas. Okay, but whatever. She needs to go to the contact because the contact can't leave her posting. So up in Canada, Moira and Luke, they're doing a fundraiser to help the mission's efforts. You know, they piggybacking on June's, I guess, what is the word? Glory, you know, and helping getting those Marthas and those children out of there. They put Rita up on the stand to say a few words about what June meant to her and to have her be free because of June's interaction. And of course it was hard for her to speak. You know, she literally had no real voice back in Gilead for the past few years. Her main fear, though, is June is still there. And she knows that her life is in danger, girl. Moira like, hey, it's cool. You know, June is back there raising hell. She turning up, right? Rita say, I'm going to pray for her. And she like, no, sis, pray for Gilead. June back there doing her thing. Moira is bigging up her girl. Tide's going to change a little later, baby. So, where June is taken seems to be some type of resort. Okay? Whoever this connect is on the inside, they got all the deets, you know what I'm saying? Getting in, it don't seem like it's going to be easy because there's guardians all over the grounds. And he's telling the guardian who we don't know his name, he tells him he got to pick up for Commander Keys. They're like, what pickup? What pickup is he doing at this place? Because we learned that this is the freaking whorehouse. What pickup could he possibly have? And the guy's like, I ain't heard of no pickup, but I'm going to check for you anyway, right? Come on, let's go this way. And so I'm thinking somehow the Connect is going to slip into the van. It's in plain view, though. Like I said, these guardians have proven before in previous seasons that they do not guard so well. Okay, especially when they're getting their little frills and drills on. And that's exactly what's happening. Martha came to retrieve June out the back of the doggone van. June is taken through the whole resort. Like, this place is almost similar to the one that they kept Moira in back in the day. And nobody pays attention to June the first. She's the most wanted handmaid out there, but walks through here without even a glare. Okay? Well, according to the Connect, all the bigger ups have been trying to keep the fact that June did what she did hush hush. But you just had freaking Fred and Serena all on the news, letting everybody know what June did. How is it hush hush any further? But she says they're trying to keep it hush hush. And the word is getting out. So in doing so, the handmaids are starting to rebel. They out there slashing tires, cutting power lines. Somebody even blew up a checkpoint, putting sugar in gas tanks. That's what they doing. Taking keys to, hood paint jobs and stuff like that. They doing a doggone thing right now. But to me, it's very interesting that all of this did not spark when Off Glen blew up the Rachel and Leah Center. Or after Up Joseph caused the ruckus that she had been causing time and time again. June kills one commander that nobody even knew she killed. And now, y'all telling me that inspired people to spark up? I'm sorry, I do not see June deserving of that credit when the people have been out there doing things all along. Which is why Mayday existed in the first doggone place. They were like a network, So while she's in there praising June, June was getting a bit more annoyed. Like, this is not what I came here for. Where is this so-called safe house that we can get to? Well, it's 13 miles from where they are right now. And apparently they need to go on foot because she told them they need to stick to the woods, okay? And I was like, why can't they go in the damn truck? They should be able to go in the doggone truck. But we see later that June got to use the truck for herself, okay? So anywho, they said that it should be a quilt hanging on the line. That means it's safe. Again, this is a callback to the Underground Railroad, the Freedom Quilt. You know, the Freedom Quilt is actually a myth, though, because they said that escaped slaves, they made these quilts, hung them up at safe houses or pathways along the road, just to show people that it was safe and this is where they could find help, or to show them where to go next, right? And most people are saying that it's a myth because when the hell did runaways have time to sit there and quilt? To actually make a whole quilt. When did they have that freaking time? They were on the run. Okay. Anywho, she said she can't set it up until tomorrow. And June said, no, we got to leave tonight. Oh, girl's like, look here. You show up there uninvited, they going to put some shells in your face. Please believe that. We can't do it until tomorrow. Well, like I asked, June asked too. How did y'all know about Winslow? This explanation really didn't get me at first, but I kind of sort of understand because June did have help getting out of there, right? And the Marthas cleaned up her mess, right? So nobody knew besides those Marthas, so, you know, news probably spread. Winslow's body should not have even been there because why? The Marthas cleaned that up, but I digress. Anywho, old girl says that she was there. She was in Boston when all this happened. They're currently in New England. That's where they escaped to. The farm is in New England. And, you know, they cleaned house after all that happened, but she happened to be one of the lucky ones, right? Well, June gets this bright idea to destroy that facility, or at least the people within it, right? Little Black Riding Hood. That's what I'm going to call her because I don't think we ever got her name either, and she was dressed in a black terry cloth robe with the hood up the whole time she was talking to her. She says that she has no faith in Mayday. She has no faith in Mayday will help liberate them, which is weird because I thought she was part of Mayday. She's the connect to Mayday, but she's not part of Mayday. They don't make sense to me, but okay. Anywho, June is like, look, they not an army. You know, we are Mayday, which is what I've been saying all along. 1 minute, though, June says she Mayday, and 1 minute she not. She need help from them. Mayday's purpose from the beginning, when she first found out about it from Alma, was that they move bodies out of Gilead safely. They move supplies out of Gilead to people who need them. They provide supplies. That's what Mayday did. And sometimes they provided flights to help people get out. June wants Mayday to be a fighting machine. I feel the same way about Black Lives Matter. It was first begun to fight against police brutality in situations dealing with Black people, to hold these police officers accountable in the justice system. But now people want to use Black Lives Matter for every Black cause. A Black person gets killed by another Black person. Where's Black Lives Matter? Voting rights get suppressed. Where's Black Lives Matter? Gentrification happens in a neighborhood. Why Black Lives Matter not here? People have forgotten its original purpose. It's to deal with police accountability and keeping us just as alive as they kept everybody in their goddamn capital alive. You know, they can arrest every other race of folks except for Black people, and then you get some of the they call the brown people. I'm just gonna say the Latinos and Hispanics. They include them in with the Black people because half time they think that they niggas too. Okay, that's the truth about it. So, and we have been like the ones who normally don't make it out alive. Smoking a cigarette on the corner and you lose your damn life. Sleep in your bed, you lose your damn life. In the park playing with a toy water gun, you lose your damn life. Overrun the whole fucking capital in Washington, D.C., and you walk out of there and get vegan meals in jail. Kill up a whole church down in North Carolina, you get taken to Burger King. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why Black Lives Matter was created. But now, every issue that deals with a damn black cause, people are calling on Black Lives Matter like they just Captain Save all. And that's exactly the same thing I was getting from what June expects of May Day. That was not May Day's original purpose. Don't get me started on the leadership of Black Lives Matter. We ain't gonna do that. But anyway, there's other organizations out there, and these organizations can work together on the same cause, but they all had a purpose. Just like in any war, there's levels to this shit. You got your frontline people, you got your administrative people, the one who's making all the decisions, the one who's plotting the courses, the ones who infiltrating. You got different levels to this shit, right? Like I say, June wants to revolutionize May Day, right? Revolutionize and make it fighting machine. And it could be done. I can't deny that, you know what I'm saying? But just like the Underground Railroad, there were people who helped people escape. There were people who sheltered people. There were moles that passed along information just like in any other war. It's kind of unreasonable to expect this one organization to do and be everything for you. You need a network of people. But June wants to fight. Then I'm like, okay, gather up those who want to fight. You know what I'm saying? Free those who want freedom, because everybody don't want to be free. We're going to see that a little bit later, too, with dealing with the kids. I don't think that Rita could have stayed there and fought, which is one reason why she needed to be on that plane. So how many women in this whorehouse, which is basically what it is, are actually willing to fight? Like, half of them drugged up, right? Okay. Anyway, let me get off my little soapbox that I didn't realize I was on. Up in Canada, they still treat Serena like she's a victim, asking her about all the ways that Fred may have possibly harmed or violated her. I'm surprised that she said that the cut off finger was justified, though, since she didn't feel that way when it happened. I guess her little widow finger, feeling hurt because Mark arrested her too. So now she want to go back pretending that everything's fine. She's fine with everything. I mean, technically speaking, she was fine until Jelly Bean became a situation. When Jelly Bean was born, then she was like, well, maybe, Anywho, when they said they need to check her for STDs, I was hoping she was burning like hellfire. I swear I was. But I was like, when did her and Fred get busy? But they must have got busy up in D.C. I remember they had a little lovely time. They actually got busy then, I guess. Okay. So I had thought that he had stopped touching her sexually a long time ago. I remember having that conversation. And once the Handmaids came into play, his affection for her dwindled. But anywho, they want to make her a victim. That's exactly what the Canadian government wants her to do. So she can get Jelly Bean and have immunity all over again. Fuck y'all. That's how I feel about that. I am so sick of this gravy train. And like one of y'all said in the comment section, Mark must want her for himself. It's the only reason he going this far, to try to save her. Melania Trump is right where she wants to be, y'all. I keep saying it over and over again. She helped create this whole society. She spearheaded what a woman's role is supposed to be in this society. She helped orchestrate June's rape with Fred and with Nick. And she basically stole this woman's baby. And she helped harbor Hannah. Now she has to live by her own doggone rules. And y'all want to blame Fred? Y'all want to blame the men? Fuck that. Serena is just as to blame. Okay. Whew. It's about to get bad for a second. Anywho, Serena used her feminine wiles to convince Mark to have a one-on-one with Fred, so she could talk him into dropping his claims. I'm like, I hope he don't. I hope he don't. I hope he see her for what she trying to do. And I ain't ever heard in my life having detainees getting so much time to talk to one another. They seem to be living high on a hog in prison life. They should be in a maximum security cell underneath the jail for real, But Mark said he gonna go and hook up that meeting for her. And yes, she did use her feminine wiles. What she did, she got him close, looked intimately into his eyes, talked softly. And as soon as he said, okay, she was like, all right, cool, let me know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she didn't like, it wasn't really, it was subtle, but it worked. Okay. So Moira and Emily, they working together to place kids into homes, but they're not having much luck with a few, right? Then Moira got a new boo that comes in. I was like, where'd she come from? When you get through this hookup? And Emily, I see that she was probably feeling a little disconnected because that's the love that she used to have. You know what I'm saying? The type of relationship she used to have. So June is back at the farm, and Alma is trying to get an understanding of why she wants to attack this resort. June says, she feels that they need to be free, and you ain't got to go. Okay. I said, oh, so June is a superhero now. She thinks she got this far on her own, and she could do it alone. All of your previous attempts to escape, June, you failed. All of your attempts to get your child failed. If it wasn't for the other handmaids, the Martha Network, and Mayday, you wouldn't be sitting here right now, June. But you could do this by yourself. Okay. Alma's like, okay, is getting them free your real motive? Is that the real reason you're going to do it? Or you just want to go in there and kill up some commanders? June say both. Both. Look, a few of us have talked about this before. June is unhinged, y'all. Okay, a lot of what she says and what she does is very parallel to what Aunt Lydia and Serena has said or done throughout these seasons. June is a trauma case herself. I talked about how I didn't like her weaponizing, little baby's breath last episode because of the trauma she's been through. A lot of y'all thought that because she's been through that trauma, she's no longer a child. Yes, she's still a child. She's just a child that has been through trauma. June herself has been through a lot of trauma, and she is coming unglued at the seams. She really is. I think Miss Honey was the one who said that baby's breath was a ticking time bomb. For sure. For sure. So is June. June ain't exploded for real yet. She has not exploded fully yet, y'all. She's a ticking time bomb as well. Even her killing Commander Winslow, that was a reactionary feat. It was not something that she had planned. Okay. She told Alma that the basic idea is to go in there and Rambo up the place. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, with what guns? Did I miss the episode that they got their hands on a supply of guns? How you gonna go in there and shoot up the place? But this was just an idea in June's head. Janine is like, we need to make a time bomb, you know what I'm saying? But nobody knows how to make one. So what then? She's like, no idea. But you want to do this tomorrow. And make it make sense. Well, baby breath comes in. Conversation stops. So she's like, so y'all gonna stop talking when I walk up? Really? That's real disrespectful, right? I don't like that. Well, the Guardian's gonna be back tomorrow. Y'all keep playing. And June tells her, look, don't worry. We wouldn't talk about you anyway. We got you. We got that covered. And I'm like, really, June? What do you have planned for their return? You don't even know. Because you didn't have a plan when they came the first time. Other than sending baby's breath out there to throw them off. Then baby breath tells her, take me with you when you leave. She's like, nah, I can't do that. It's not safe. Nowhere is safe, Ma. Nowhere is safe, right? She said, I know you don't trust me. Ken Don called the last video and said June is trying to build loyalty and keep little mama in check. Her putting that knife in her hand was not about Esther's retribution, trying to get her payback or something like that. She wanted to get loyalty. I made a comment to a few of you before in the comment section saying it was almost like a mob scene where you got this new person who just joined the crew and now he got to prove his worth to the big leader. They'd already roughed him up and beat him up. They could have killed him 3 times over. And then the head person put the weapon in your hand and say, now take him out. When she said, make me proud, that's the sinister part of it. You make her proud. Not take what's rightfully yours. His life. That's what maybe that. Maybe that. Make me proud. It's all about what she can do for June. But like I said, there was a loyalty thing, and baby's breath called it out. I know you don't trust me. I know you don't. But June is like, fine, I can take you with me. The little girl had to beg and plead June, and she's sobbing like the child that she is, and fell right into June's arms. First, though, they need to do something about the commander. And I was like, y'all do realize if y'all take this commander out, when the Guardians come back and they see baby breath grown, it's gonna be our heads. That's my first thought, okay? But baby breath, she like, you know what? I've been mixing herbs and potions up in the kitchen, slowly putting Commander Keys to his death. So June has the bright idea. I'm gonna have baby breath teach me what she know. We gonna poison all the commanders at the resort. I was like, how you gonna get this into the Guardians? Because the Guardians still be there, right? So Serena, she gets to visit Fred at the chapel. And he said, no, how you ain't been sleeping well? She's like, oh, like you care? He said, well, you are my wife. Anywho, I know what's going to go down Serena at the hearing. This is my favorite part of this episode, y'all, so I hope I get this right. I know what's going to go down at the hearing. Serena like, that's just legal mumbo jumbo, Fred. It ain't got to be this way. You know, she tried to turn them feminine wiles on her. Turn towards him, cross his legs. She turned him ever so gently, looked directly in his eyes, spoke softly, the same way she did Mark. Fred sighed. He said, you're getting a little rusty there, aren't you? You used to be able to get me to do whatever you wanted, but nah, sis, not no more. I'm praying that he right. I'm praying that she not getting to him and he just taking the bait. I was like, let her ass suffer just like you about to suffer, Fred. She said, Fred, I just want to get my daughter back. When he turned to her and said, Nicole is not your daughter. The jubilation that went through my body, the shiver down my spine. I rewinded the video 4 times just to hear him say it again. Nicole is not your daughter any more than she is mine. If you think I'm gonna let you have her, let you take her and walk free up out of her, start a new life, skip your little ass down the yellow brick road over my spilled blood underneath your feet, you got another thing coming, Missy. Oh! Yes, I ad-libbed the yellow brick road part, but that's what Fred meant to say. Tell her, Fred. Tell her, Fred. She's like, I thought you would have some common sense once we left Gilead. He said, I am as you made me. As you made us. I mean, Fred, you are as you are, but she did pull it out of you, baby. Yes, she did. She didn't make you. She didn't make the seed. She didn't even plant the seed, but she cultivated, nourished it, gave it life, helped it grow. And it showed everybody how pretty it was in front of the cameras, right? And now she's mad because the gardener not getting no praise. Come through, Fred. Come through, Fred. Now she the victim. I thought it was my fault. It is. I thought I deserved everything that you did to me. Well, you designed it, heifer. Shit, you know what I'm saying? What's good for the goosey handmaids is good for the ganderous behind called yourself. I feel no sympathy for you, oppressor. None. None. Serena was mad, baby. She was mad. Said Fred never stood up for her. Never helped her get power like he had. He said, what I did do was give you too much freedom. I was like, love to see it. Love to see it. I hope you both crumble like the walls of Jericho. But then there's Mark. Mark is going to do whatever he need to do to save her. And he will go there. And she going to play victim to it all. That's exactly what's going to happen. So Moira, she having to deal with the angel kids, is what we call them. They are experiencing a whole trauma in a whole new type of way, right? Because some of them never knew their biological parents. So the Gilead family is all that they know. And they have just been ripped away from them without understanding about what's going on. Moira is trying to talk to one of the biological aunts into allowing him to come to grips with it in his own time, right? He's Asher. She calls him James by his real name after her brother, his bio dad. Moira understands this, and she is trying to relate to her what these children are going through. This moment right now, this is their trauma. She gets back to the center. She's pissed off. She's angry because she's thinking about what these kids are dealing with. You know what I'm saying? And for me, these kids are baby's breath. Baby's breath is just still in it. But they still kids. I bet y'all still consider these kids on the plane still kids. You know what I'm saying? Have y'all not known people that has dealt with traumas in their life, been physically abused or sexually abused through their life? at a young age, my shit started when I was 5. Was I no longer a kid at 5 because I was experiencing that type of shit? You know what I'm saying? Hey, so Moira understands, you know what I'm saying? Especially have been through this herself as an adult. You can only imagine what the hell these kids have been going through. And like I said, the ones who not even aware that they were prisoners. This is all the life they knew, and we just stripped them from it and forced this new life on them. They basically doing what Gilead did to y'all. They forced this way of life on them that they didn't ask for. That's what's going on with these kids, right? So Emily, she's trying to paint a silver lining. You know, better here than there, because Moira says that all the time, right? And the Moira's like, yes, eventually, but right now, that's not what these kids feel. You know, Emily was like, you know, I bet June didn't expect this. Moira says exactly what I've been saying this whole time. June takes a big swing and says, fuck the consequences. June don't even think about the consequences. That's what it is. If she thought of it at all, she probably sees them all as Hannah, who remembered her. So she probably think these kids remember where they came from, right? Remember, Hannah was mad that she never came for her. So she didn't think about the ones who actually grew up in this system and how it would affect them. Asher is just one of many. You know what I'm saying? Now Moira mad at St. June. Okay, she loves her friend, cares for her, misses her dearly, worries about her safety. But now she's feeling the effects of June's action. She say, I love Nicole, but I didn't ask to be a damn mama. You know what I'm saying? And now she's raising June's baby with Luke. And remember when I said about, she stuck Jelly Bean in Emily's arms. She never once thought about the consequences of Emily making it with that baby to safety. What if she never made it? What if that baby happened to die in Emily's care? Did she ever think about that? No, she didn't. And Emily brought that up as well. Then Moira was like, damn, we fucked up people. You know what I'm saying? She's like, no, we're not. We got the right to feel this way. We sure do. Y'all sure in the hell do. Because what if Emily never found Luke or Moira? Then she would have been stuck with Jelly Bean. You know what I'm saying? She had to deal with traumas of her own broken marriage, her own son, who was not attached to her any further. But Moira has been carrying around this guilt with her because she made it out and June didn't. So she feels like she have to keep bigging June up, and handling everything that comes her way in relation to the actions June's taking back in Gilead. But she's tired of feeling guilty, y'all. That's why I was so surprised that she had a new boo. That's what made me mention it earlier. Because she feels obligated to still confront her traumas on a daily basis because of that. You know what I'm saying? So June, she off to the resort. She going alone, armed with baby's breath poison. They nod each other up on the way out the door. And back in Canada, in the meantime, Moira, she's going to use Rita to help Asher feel some semblance of home. She knows the way of life, the foods he's used to, the way he's used to being spoken to, so she can help ease him into this new life. Maybe this will become Rita's purpose. At the resort, June has convinced Little Black Riding Hood to take the poison. Now, she wasn't sure that she was up for it, but June like, nah, you got this. And then one of the aunts come in. And why did she not question who June was? All the Marthas that's in this house, girl. I mean, you in charge of the girls? Who's in charge of the girls? You in charge of the girls. Well, after the aunt belittles Little Black Riding Hood, she decides to go ahead and take that poison. And June is about to leave. Again. She's the one that wanted to attack this place. She's the one that came up with it, And again, she places the weapon in the hands of the victim and tries to walk away clean. Oh, girl, like, you sure you don't want to stay for the fireworks? Hell, she don't even know if it's going to work for real. Once they're free, where are they going to go? Sure, they can take the keys and the weapons and the cars and try to make it to a safe house. But they don't know if that they're going to be stopped. These women didn't even want to fight. Okay? So I can't say that they might just be like, old girl earlier was like, I don't want to fight. I don't want to be free, but I don't want to fight. You know what I'm saying? Because it didn't seem like people in the house was in on it, but they were. Anywho, Serena's fed up. And now she want to separate her interest from Fred's. And Mark is all solemn. Like, whatever. Fine. We can worry about that later. You pregnant, girl. When they said she was pregnant, I was like, what? She pregnant. The woman who could not have children, not because of the infertility rating or the, that was going on with the rest of the world. She could not have pregnant because she was shot in the uterus, making her unable to have children. She is now pregnant by the man whose sperm count was so doggone low, you didn't even think them little swimmers were swimming. They were standing there taking selfies of anything. He had been banging out 4 different handmaids over 8 years and never got a single one of them pregnant, nor her in all this time. And now Serena is pregnant. And Mark seemed pissed about it. Like his feelings was hurt. Congratulations, Mrs. Waterford. Like he had a fucking chance with her or something. So they decide to give Serena, this devil, the blessing of a baby, instead of one hell of a burning STD. That's all I asked for. Something that could have got cured with penicillin. Y'all give her a baby. Fuck y'all. So June, she do stick around, help them lace the liquor. Like I said, other women were on board as well. She even made a cocktail tea for Auntie, but then again, she leaves them on their own to do what next? I don't know. They don't even know. Okay? They didn't have a plan. When June came in, she came with the bottle and said, hey, make sure you just goes in all the commanders' drinks and all the guardians and whatever. But there was no plan for after. What happens after? Anyway, they get back to the house. All the lights are on. The whole house is lit up, which is very strange because as I complained about in a whole lot of seasons, they rarely ever turn lights on. This house is lit up like a Christmas tree. The dogs wasn't barking. None of that was happening. There was no movement anywhere. She did tell the boy to bounce, the guardian whose name we don't know. He's like, nah, I'm not going to leave you and have you fend for yourself. Something that June would have did. You see how she likes to give you the weapon and walk away. But that's just me. Okay, anywho. They approach the house. And they start to stumble upon empty shells on the ground. And then bam! The guardian with no name, dead. Dead, y'all. I was thinking they couldn't hit June. I mean, she got his brain spread all over her face, but they couldn't aim. They wasn't aiming for June. She reached down on the ground for his gun. Then had 10 laser beams pointed all over her body, locked and loaded on her. Then out of the house, who is it? First, I thought it was Putnam. Then I thought it was Calhoun. But no. It's Nick. The love of her life. Nick, the one who's supposed to be up in Chicago, leading the front lines, is the one that came all the way down to New England to apprehend June. Apparently all the handmaids gone. They made it out. I was like, where's baby's breath? Did she go with the handmaids? Or did she set June up? When June was leaving and heading off to the resort, and she was sitting on the porch smoking a cigarette, and she looked like, either I should be going with you, or I'm about to get your ass. That's the 2 looks that she gave her to me. Gotcha. Did she set her up? Because when she came back, they was ready. Or did she give her up? That's the difference between a setup and a give up. When June came back, maybe they had caught baby's breath up. Maybe she got captured. And she had to give June up. Because all the handmaids gone. How would they know that June was there? Who told them? Who called Nick in Chicago and said, June is over at this safe house? Who did it? The other guardian that showed up earlier, he wasn't smarter than the 5th grade. Come on now. He didn't know June was there. He probably felt something funny was going on, but he didn't know it was June. All the handmaids gone when Nick and them get there. Who was all the gun shells for? What was the empty shells on the ground? Who was shooting? They only had one guardian at the house. Only had one. He was gone with June. You don't see no dead bodies laying around. You don't see no dead Marthas laying around. Where's Commander Keys? Who was all the gun shells for? The empty gun shells on the ground. Because all the handmaids are gone. Nick said, where are they? June tried to reach for the gun. And he just gently leaned down next to her, got in close to her, and said, trying to keep you alive. Is that what you're doing, Nick? You trying to keep her alive? That what you're doing? He trying to keep June alive. But fuck everyone else, huh, Nick? He would give them all over to Gilead just to save June, old selfish prick. Because it's all for his benefit. It's all for his good. Oh, child, this episode got under my skin. I will try to have episode 3 posted up by Tuesday. Y'all leave y'all comments down in the comment section. I don't even know if I asked y'all anything specifically this episode. Okay, do y'all think that Baby's breath set her up? Or do you think it was just caught up? Like, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Because trust was a big thing. Trust was a big thing that was hinting on in this episode. And I don't know. But if she did, why now? Because apparently this has been a safe house. You've let so many handmaids pass through the gates. Why now? Why would you set June up now? These particular people. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm looking forward to episode 3. Thank y'all for not telling us about it. Please don't spoil us in the comment section, putting down what y'all watched in episode 3. I really would appreciate that. The conversation last episode was awesome. Great. I love the communication that we had. I love the difference of opinions that we were able to express. And everybody made some very good points. I really appreciate it. I hope we have that this episode too. Thank y'all for coming back again. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. Peace.